Hello there and welcome to Andre Plays Unreal. In this video I'm going to be doing basically a bit of a deeper analysis into the weapons, items and creatures of Unreal. So in particular, this is one of my extra videos. In these extra videos I kind of deviate from the usual type of video I make. Like usually I just play through a single player campaign of Unreal. Either, like I've made videos so far playing through the original campaign of Unreal, I made a video on Return to Nepali, and I plan to make lots of videos playing through all the fan-made campaigns of Unreal. It's going to be a lot of fun. But in these extra videos, I kind of like to share my thoughts about the mechanics of Unreal, sort of talk a bit behind the scenes, show you all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily see in my mainline Unreal videos. Like I've already made one extra video where I show you basically just the assets of Unreal Gold that were cut from the final game, or basically that like appear in the game files but don't actually appear in either of the campaigns. In this video I am going to do a more in-depth analysis of all the assets, all the weapons, items and monsters in Unreal Gold, and just sort of talk about my thoughts about them and analyze them a little bit. If this doesn't interest you, that is totally fine. Like if I know some of my viewers probably get interested in watching me play Unreal, and if that's the case, you can skip this video and no problem at all. But for those who are interested in seeing me sort of discuss a bit about my ideas and theories about the items and weapons and monsters and stuff in Unreal, then well, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, let us go. New game, advanced. Like I just want to spawn in Harabed just to give me sort of somewhere to be, to show off all this stuff. Mutators, yep, that looks fine to me. That looks fine to me. Okay, good. Let me just go kill pawns to kill the monsters, and kill inventory to get rid of my weapons. So yeah, I just picked Harabed because it's a nice, open, very empty map. Well, not very empty, but like, it's basically, it's a good place to sort of test out the weapons, test out the items. And there's water near here as well, so some of the monsters that need to swim, I can summon in the water. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. In my last video, in my last Andre's extra videos, I talked a bit about trying to do the command that makes it show you the frame rate, and I kept trying and it kept not working. It was stat FPS, but you need a space. So if I go stat FPS, you see in the top left, it tells you your frames per second, and yeah, that's how you do that. Just wanted to show you that. Okay, so in this video, I want to kind of talk about I want to give some theories about who made each of the weapons, each of the items. So like, is it made by the humans? Is it made by the Skaarj? Is it made by the mercenaries? Is it made by the Nali? Like, I want to sort of share some theories, but in general, Unreal is not that good at developing its lore. You know, so like, it is a first-person shooter first, and a consistent, coherent story second, like in a kind of a distant second, to be honest. Like, it's mainly just about the gameplay and about killing the monsters, and while it does have a story that I really do like, I do find the story quite fun and engaging, it doesn't really go to a lot of effort in making it consistent, like in making it sort of like, as in, is this weapon invented by humans or invented by Skaarj? And if it's invented by humans, why do we see the Skaarj wielding it? And why do we see ammo for it in Skaarj ships and stuff, you know? And if it's invented by the Skaarj, why do we see it on the human spaceship? You know, it's not, like, it doesn't really make sense a lot of the time whether the item is meant to be originally a Skaarj weapon or a human weapon. But there are some threads, I guess, that you can sort of follow. So that's what I'll sort of be discussing today. Okay, to start off with the very first weapon, the Dispersion Pistol. I have the high definition textures on, so you can see the beautiful high definition texture model of the Dispersion Pistol. When we pick it up, you got the Dispersion Pistol. So it has, the basic Dispersion Pistol has 50 bullets, and you don't need to pick up bullets because it automatically recharges. Primary fire shoots a bullet like that, a beam, you know, a single dispersion beam, and it recharges, as you can see, just automatically. Come on, recharge at 46. There you go. And alternate fire, you hold down alternate fire, and it loads. Well, if I didn't hold it twice, it holds like a built-up stronger beam. So it like loads up. The gun shakes. It builds up like a stronger pulse, and then you release it, and it releases a stronger pulse. Yeah. So this gun, you first find it. Well, it's the first gun of the game that you find, and you find it in the Vortex Raggers. And this leads me to believe that it's actually a human-made gun. However, you do find, throughout Napali, you do find power-ups for the Dispersion Pistol. And if it is really a human gun, then why are these power-ups found all over Napali? Like, I guess maybe it could be a Skaarj gun, and the power-ups are naturally found, like, because the Skaarj have been on Napali for a while, and you find these Skaarj power-ups. But, I feel like it's probably meant to be a human weapon, and the Skaarj have just raided human ships and salvaged these Dispersion Pistol power-ups and have put them all around Napali. Or at least the Nali have found the power-ups and hidden them all around Napali. But I have a feeling it's meant to be a human weapon. I do have that feeling, even though you do see a lot of Skaarj wielding the Dispersion Pistol. Anyway, so yes, you have it. The Dispersion Pistol does not have ammo. Like, you don't pick up ammo for the Dispersion Pistol. Instead, you pick up these things, which in the code are called weapon power. Are these sort of canisters with blue lightning glowing on them. And basically, these things, when you pick one up, you got the Dispersion Pistol power up. They basically upgrade your Dispersion Pistol. They give it 10 more ammo. As its maximum ammo, sorry, and the color of the bolt changes. So now it is a yellow bolt. If you do the alternate fire, it's still blue. And now each bolt it uses 3 ammo instead of just 1 ammo. And when you get down below 10 ammo, it like defaults back to the original blue bolt. So if we go down. If we go down below 10 ammo, it defaults back to the blue bolt. But other than that, otherwise, it shoots 3 ammo per bolt, and it's a yellow bolt, and it's a stronger bolt. So we're basically making the gun stronger, but slower. If we do another weapon power up, now it's up to 70, and now it shoots green bolts. And it's 5 ammo per bolt. If we do another power up, it's now up to 80, and this shoots, I guess, these orangey reddish. Are they red or orange? They're kind of reddish pinkish, I think. Or they could be orange. I'm not sure. These bolts, they do 6 ammo per bolt, and they fire even slower. Lastly, if we pick up the final and 4th power up, weapon upgrade for a final time, we have 90 ammo. And I think the colour is the same, it's like an orangey, pinkish, reddish bolt. And now each one does 7 ammo. Each one takes up 7 ammo, and the gun is at its strongest. If we pick up another Dispersion Pistol power up, it basically just gives us full ammo again. It does not upgrade the gun any further. We've reached the maximum upgrade of our Dispersion Pistol. It's like, I guess the gun starts off weak. So when you start the game, you think, what's the point of this gun? It's kind of like my weekly, piddly, you know, gun for destroying boxes, and because it's often used for destroying boxes and stuff, because it doesn't take up ammo. But as you play throughout the game, you do find it actually does get a lot stronger with power-ups. And yeah, towards the end, it's actually quite a strong gun. It's just because the because the bolt takes a while to hit the enemy, it's not the best in many situations because like the Skaarj, for instance, can dodge the bolt. So maybe for things like Titans it's better because Titans can't really dodge the stuff you're shooting, they're a bit slower, or Brutes I guess. But a lot of the enemies can easily dodge the Dispersion Pistol power bolt. I'm sorry, the Dispersion Pistol bolts, because they are quite slow. Okay, next gun is the AutoMag. AutoMag. Beautiful high definition model. Let's pick up the AutoMag. So we first get the AutoMag in Nali Falls. I suspect it's also a human weapon because you first find it near a human body, so it's like humans wielding it. But you also do find it a lot in Rajagar mine and stuff, so it could also be a Skaarj weapon that the humans just came across, or like, you know, I'm not sure. Once again, I'm sorry that I'm so like ambiguous about all this. A lot of the time it's really hard to tell. But it could be like a weapon manufactured for like the Brutes to wield, although the Brutes kind of wield rocket launchers, so not necessarily, but the Brutes do wield like the Brutes do wield their own sort of weapons different to the weapons that the Skaarj wield. So I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it could be a human weapon. It has the same yellow and black sort of diagonal lines on the weapon model as you see on like the Dispersion Pistol, so it could be like a sort of human designed weapon. Yeah, I might say it's a human weapon. So primary fire, they're insta-hit shots, and that is useful because in Unreal, most of the weapons are actually not insta-hit. So being able to have an insta-hit weapon, a weapon that when you shoot it automatically does damage instantly to where the crosshair is super useful. Secondary fire or alternate fire is this. It's a faster rate of fire, but it's less accurate. So, and you also hold the gun sideways for some reason. So yeah, basically that's if you want to shoot faster at the enemy, but you don't care that much about accuracy. Once again, with a Titan or something. But if you don't care about accuracy, why are you using the AutoMag to begin with? It's very good. It's good throughout the game actually for like long range accurate firing. There are actually two different ammos for the AutoMag, or two different like ammo pickups you can find. One of them is called Shellbox. Here is Shellbox, and this gives you 50 ammo. The other one is Clip. Here is Clip, and this gives you 20 ammo. The maximum ammo for the AutoMag is, I believe, 200. So if we summon a few more shell boxes, we are now at maximum 200 ammo. Interestingly, that's interesting. A manta must have spawned. Even though I did kill pawns at the beginning, I must have walked past a trigger which spawns a manta. So if I just go kill pawns again, that should get rid of the manta. Cool. Okay. So, yes. What was I talking about? The AutoMag. Yes, there's 200 ammo. And you might also notice that in the bottom right corner, the ammo for the gun 0 has also gotten up to full. Like you'll see that as I've been getting ammo for gun 2, the AutoMag. So I should have said gun 1 is the Dispersion Pistol, gun 2 is the AutoMag. But you would also have noticed the ammo for gun 0 is also increasing. And that's basically because gun 0, the minigun, when I get to it, uses the same ammo resource as the AutoMag. So when you get AutoMag ammo, you get minigun ammo. When you use AutoMag ammo, you use minigun ammo. It's like the same clips, it's the same ammo basically. Okay, next gun. Summon Stinger. Oh yeah, I should mention with the AutoMag, I guess what sort of gun it is. It's basically just like a handgun, basic sort of handgun. So the Stinger, this is interesting. The Stinger is actually it appears to be some sort of Teridium mining tool. So it's probably invented by the Skaarj, because the Skaarj mine Teridium. I guess the ammo for the Stinger are called Teridium shards, and which is kind of weird because the Skaarj are mining Teridium. So why would the ammo for the gun be Teridium? Because you'd think like the Teridium is valuable, you wouldn't waste it on making ammo for a gun out of Teridium. My hypothesis is that it's the waste Teridium that's in the gun. So like Teridium is probably purified from these crystals. So you find Teridium in the form of these blue glowing crystals. So I'm guessing you get the crystals, you refine the Teridium out of them, and then the waste crystal is then used as ammo for this gun. If you go summon Stinger ammo, you see these Teridium shards. And if you pick them up, you picked up 40 Teridium shards. But and that basically gives you 40 ammo. But yes, the Stinger primary fire, it shoots like a machine gun sort of rapid fire of these Teridium crystals. And if you do alternate fire, it shoots like a shotgun blast. And it uses between 6. I did it 5. Sorry, it uses not 6. Sorry, it uses 5. Exactly 5. 5 ammo. It uses 5 ammo and it shoots like the shotgun blast of a bunch of these shells. The maximum ammo, if you summon some more Stinger ammo, is also 200. So 200 is the maximum ammo of the Stinger. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it. It's a weapon that's sort of made by the Skaarj, and it's not the best weapon. It's like it's okay in the beginning of the game when that's all you have, but later on it's sort of there are definitely better weapons than the Stinger. I guess it's also better on slower moving enemies. Like, I mean, I use it on brutes and stuff. You can use it on Skaarj warriors, but they do tend to dodge it a bit. Or Titans, I guess you can use it on Titans. But many enemies, it's not really the best weapon to use. And yeah, you first come across the Stinger in Rajagar Mine. Okay, next weapon. Next weapon is the ASMD. So, there are many theories about what the ASMD stands for. I'm pretty sure I read an interview with one of the developers where apparently ASMD stands for "and suck my dick." Because the idea is you do the ASMD combo to someone, you be like explode them into pieces and be like "and suck my dick." It's like a cool one-liner, you know. But either way, it's just called the ASMD. When you pick it up, it gives you 20 ammo. So the ASMD primary fire, it shoots like a blue sort of laser bolt. So you shoot it, it shoots this sort of bolt of electricity that it's an insta-hit. So once again, the ASMD is an insta-hit weapon, like the AutoMag is. If you shoot alternate fire, you shoot a blue ball of energy, which is slower moving, but I'm pretty sure it does more damage than the primary fire. So it's like slow moving, but it hits something and it does more damage. If you hit the alternate fire ball with the primary fire beam, you do what's called an ASMD combo, which does a huge explosion and uses up a lot of ammo. So it uses up like a whole 3 ammo to do the combo, but that does like a whole lot of damage to any monster within like that radius. So it's pretty good. Summon ASMD ammo. These things called ASMD shock cores, or just ASMD cores. I think calling it the shock rifle and shock core started in Unreal Tournament. In the original Unreal, it's just called the ASMD, and the ammo is called ASMD cores. But like I said, in later Unreal Tournaments, they changed the name of the gun to the shock rifle, and you pick up shock cores for it. So if you pick up some shock cores, some ASMD cores, each one gives you 10 ammo. Just like with the Stinger, I should mention each Stinger ammo gave you 40 ammo. Each ASMD ammo gives you 10 ammo, all the way up to a maximum of 50 ammo for the ASMD. And the ASMD is interesting. You actually first find the ASMD in depths of RazorJack, but it's kind of like a secret. You have to sort of go out of your way to a secret to see it. And then later on in Chisra, you actually see the ASMD like you get it like normally for the first time. Like for the first time, not as a secret, you pick it up. Where it's very useful in the map to like defeat the flies. The flies go down pretty good with the ASMD. In general, ASMD is a good weapon. The shot combo is a powerful combo for those who can pull it off. I'm not amazing at pulling it off, but yeah, I like the ASMD. It's pretty good. Next up, we have the 8-ball. Summon 8-ball. Oh yeah, I didn't mention something. I guess ASMD is sort of like, I guess it's called a shock rifle, but I guess it's sort of like electricity-based laser, not really laser-based, but I guess you could say it's like, it's beam-based. It shoots out some sort of beam, like of energy. Anyway, onto the 8-ball. The 8-ball is a rocket launcher and grenade launcher. I should mention, I guess, I should mention where the ASMD comes from. Sorry, I keep doing this in such a bad order. Yes, so the ASMD is probably made by the Skaarj, I'm guessing, because, yeah, it's probably made by the Skaarj, because it's found in like a Nali temple, and it's based on like energy beams, it's very futuristic, so it's probably made by the Skaarj. Okay, on to the 8-ball. The 8-ball is a 6-barreled rocket launcher / grenade launcher. Let me just pick up some ammo for it first. So the ammo is actually called Rocket Cannon. Pick it up, it gives you 12 ammo. Another one, 42, and lastly 48. 48 is the maximum amount of bullets in the 8-ball. So the 8-ball has multiple like features actually. Primary fire shoots the rocket. Alternate fire shoots the grenade. If you hold down primary fire, you can load more than one rocket. You can load up to 6 rockets, which you shoot in a line. If you hold down alternate fire, you load up to 6 grenades, which you all shoot at once. And if you press primary fire, if you hold primary fire, and while you're holding primary fire, you hold down alternate fire as well, you shoot your rockets in a circle, rather than shooting them all in a line. Also, the 8-ball, it locks on to enemies. So if I summon a Nali, for instance, I can put the 8-ball on the Nali and it will lock on. And then when it locks on, you shoot the rockets, and if the enemy moves, it sort of follows them. It's like heat-seeking, you know? You first find the 8-ball in Chisra. You first find the 8-ball in Chisra, yes. Where it's called the Stick of 6 Fires by the Nali. The Nali sort of like worship it as like this artifact, and they have it like on an altar sort of thing. Which would seem to imply it's made by the Skaarj once again. Because, yeah, if it's been on Napali for a while to the point where the Nali have like based their religion around it, it wouldn't be brought by the humans. You think it'd be brought by the Skaarj. And so yeah, I would say it's probably made by the Skaarj, but I don't really know. I'm not sure. It's a pretty good weapon, but my problem with the 8-ball is that whenever I use it, it tends to blow up in my face, like, because it has a lot of splash damage. If you shoot rockets or grenades and they land like close to you, if you shoot rockets like on the ground, if a monster is running up to you and you try to walk back and you shoot rockets at the ground in front of you, it can very easily explode into splash damage, and that can give you a bunch of damage. And yeah, so or if you explode on a monster and the monster's right in front of you, it can like blow you up completely. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, if the monster is running up to you and you're running close and you shoot rockets, you load up 6 rockets and you shoot it on the monster, they'll explode right next to you, and that could like do well over 100 damage to you and kill you. So it's got the danger of a lot of, like, you know, not recoil, but like splash damage back to you. But it's a pretty good weapon for like loading up and yeah, firing when a monster sort of doesn't notice you yet, you know. And the locking on feature is mediocre. It's not the best. But yeah. Next we have my favorite gun, the Flak Cannon. Oh, I never noticed that before. It has numbers on it. In that case, the fact that it has numbers on it, actually, the fact that the AutoMag ammo has numbers on it makes me think the AutoMag was made by the humans. And the fact that the Flak Cannon has numbers on it makes me think the Flak Cannon was probably made by the humans as well. Either way, we got the Flak Cannon. You first find the Flak Cannon in this map that we're in right now, actually, Harrowbed Village. It's in the Abbey up there. And it is my favorite gun of all time. A lot of people have it as their favorite gun, actually, because it is probably one of the coolest and most satisfying guns. Primary fire shoots like a whole shred of shrapnel that bounces on walls. And alternate fire lobs a shrapnel sort of bomb or grenade that sort of hits the ground and explodes with a whole lot of shrapnel. It does a whole lot of damage. Very satisfying, a lot of fun to use. There are actually 2 different ammo types, 2 different ammo pickups for this gun. You have the Flak box, which is this sort of box of Flak ammo. Once again, there are numbers on the top, so it makes me think that it is a human made. And that gives you 10 ammo. You picked up 10 Flak shells. There is also Flak shell ammo, which is like a single round, a single Flak round. You got a Flak shell. The maximum amount of ammo is 50. You can load up to 50 ammo with the Flak Cannon. And yeah, like I said, this is my favorite gun, and it's like a very good gun to use. It's really great for close quarter combat. When a monster's running up to you like really close, you just primary fire, you shoot them. You know, it does a lot of damage. It's a pretty good gun. It's a lot of fun to use. Okay, next gun is the RazorJack. This gun, I think, is made by the Skaarj, because it has a very Skaarj-like design. You first pick it up in ISV Crown Deck 4, I believe. Yeah, ISV Crown Deck 4. But it looks like a Skaarj weapon. It's very, like, it's got wires and it's very sharp, pointy shaped, and it looks very, like, it just looks like a Skaarj design. It looks very different to what humans would come up with. The RazorJack primary fire shoots these bouncy little blades that bounce off walls and stuff. So the idea is you can shoot them around walls, or you can shoot them on like around corners that bounce on the wall, and which is, I guess, their main, you know, sort of feature that makes them interesting. Because I personally don't use the RazorJack that much, to be honest. Like just like the Stinger, I guess the Stinger and the RazorJack I don't use that often. It's kind of like, I guess it's okay against monsters that don't move around that much, but I find the annoying thing in close quarter combat that if you shoot it, if it hits you back, then it does damage to you. It can very easily hit your own body back when you're shooting in corridors and damage you, and that's really annoying. So I don't really like it that much, but I guess it's not bad. It's not terrible. And alternate fire, basically it shoots a razor blade, but you can move the mouse. Like if you move the mouse to the right, it will sort of follow your mouse. I never use this. I pretty much never ever use this feature. If you shoot it left, it will See, it sort of follows. I can never think of a time when I use this feature of the RazorJack. But it's there. I guess they needed to come up with an alternate fire for it. I came up with that as the idea. But yeah, there's the RazorJack. Not bad. Okay, next up... Oh, I forgot to summon the ammo for it. Summon Razor ammo. And see, it has Skaarj symbols on it. It's probably made by the Skaarj because the ammo has like Skaarj symbols on it. That gives you 25 razor blades. How much did the RazorJack give you when you picked it up? I actually can't remember. I was too busy shooting it. But the RazorJack has a maximum of 75. Okay, maximum 75. Interesting. Okay, next up is the GES BioRifle. GES, once again, many people have different theories about what it stands for, but I'm pretty sure I heard in that same interview that they talked about ASMD that the GES stands for green exploding shit, because basically it lobs out green exploding shit. You got the GES BioRifle. So you pick it up, it gives you 25 ammo. Primary fire shoots this green blob. Basically lands on the floor. It sticks to walls, sticks to like ceilings, it sticks to things. And basically it's sort of like a timed grenade. Like over time it just explodes and does damage. Or also proximity grenade in the sense that if a monster or creature touches it, like if I go summon a Nali, if it hits the Nali, it does damage to the Nali. Or like if you shoot it on the floor, if a Skaarj runs up to you and the Skaarj walks over the GES BioRifle ammo, it basically explodes and does damage to them. So it's just like the RazorJack and the Stinger, I tend not to use GES BioRifle, but it actually has helped me in some certain situations. It's good in, I like to use it in close combat, on certain monsters, like, it's actually not bad, especially because you can throw it on the floor, and the monsters walk on the floor, and then basically it explodes on them, or it's just, it definitely has some uses. Alternate fire is you hold alternate fire, and you load up a big glob of GES BioRifle, and it shoots out like that, and this glob pulsates like that, blub, 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 pulsating. And if a monster steps on it, it does like a lot of damage to them, but it also lasts a long time. Oh, and it has a high radius of explosion. The ammo for the GES rifle is called Sludge. Summon Sludge. That gives you 25 kilos of Teridium Biosludge. I always say it's unrealistic that you can just pick up 25 kilos of a material to put in your gun. Because overall the gun has 100 ammo. Are you lugging around 100 kilos of ammo for your gun? That's insane. Okay, and you first come across the GES BioRifle in Tyrannox, which makes me think that it's actually a mercenary weapon, because Tyrannox is a mercenary ship. So if it's found on Tyrannox, it probably is the mercenary's weapon. Although I don't know if I've seen any evidence for that. Like, aside from just, it would kind of make sense because it's with the mercenaries. And the mercenaries have Tyrannox is all about the green goop, the green bio waste. So it makes sense that it's a mercenary weapon. Okay, next on to the rifle. Also called the sniper rifle, but like in the game files, it's just called the rifle. Interesting fact: it has these two prongs on the end, but when you pick it up, they disappear. That's because earlier models of the rifle, like an earlier design for the rifle, had the two prongs on the end. It was going to be like, sort of like a bayonet that you could ram into monsters with it and it would do damage. But then they decided to remove that feature. So it's removed from the model of the gun that you hold, but it's not removed from the physical gun that you see, like the external model of the gun. So a bit of an inconsistency there. 8 bullets it has. If we go summon, there are 2 types of ammo for it. Rifle ammo, which is these clips of 8 rifle rounds. Or we can go summon rifle round, which is a single round for it. For a maximum of 50. Okay. So primary fire is a insta-hit shot. Very nice. Insta-hit gun, so you can so the projectiles you don't have to wait for the projectiles to get the enemy can't dodge the projectiles. Instantly hits the enemy. And alternate fire, you hold down alternate fire and it zooms in. So very good for sniping, very good for accurate shots from a distance. And you press alternate fire again to zoom back out. Yeah, you first find the rifle quite into the game actually. It's first found in, what's it called? It's a Sky Cave map, like the map file name is called Sky Cave, but the actual map title is called Gateway to Narpali. That's right, Gateway to Narpali. And yeah, it's probably second. It's probably my second favorite weapon after the Flak Cannon, because it's really great. It does a hell of a lot of damage, but the ammo for the rifle is quite rare in Unreal. So like it's actually a strong gun, but you sort of have to conserve your ammo for it. You can't spend all your ammo for the rifle just shooting everything, because then you won't have any rifle ammo. And it's definitely useful against things like Skaarj snipers. When you're far away from Skaarj snipers and you want to kill them off, then it's a pretty good gun against them. Okay, and who made it? Probably the Skaarj, because Skaarj snipers have so many sniper rifles, so it's probably the Skaarj, but once again, I don't know. If it is the humans, we don't really see it around human spaceships that often. We mostly see it around, well, we kind of don't see it until the latter half of the game anyway. But yeah, I guess it could be human, but it's probably Skaarj. And lastly, we have the minigun. As I mentioned before, the minigun uses the same ammo as the AutoMag. Pick up the minigun. Actually, I don't know how much it gives you when you pick it up. So I'll just show you the fire. Primary fire. It's a machine gun. It's a machine gun shooting at a normal speed. Alternate fire. Machine gun shooting at a higher speed but with less accuracy. I just want to test something. If I shoot at all, I want to see how much ammo the minigun gives you when you pick it up. It gives you 50, okay. Given that the AutoMag is a human weapon, the machine gun is probably also a human weapon, but it's actually a very rare weapon in the game. There are actually only 2 miniguns in the entire game. One of them is found in the Sunspire as a secret, and the other one is found in the Skaarj Mothership. Which map? Skaarj Mothership Labs. Skaarj Mothership Labs, and it's dropped by an actual Skaarj wielding it. So you have a Skaarj trooper or whatever that's wielding a minigun, and when you kill him, he drops it. So it's missable. If you kill the guy but don't pick up his gun, you actually miss it. So it's actually it's almost like a bonus gun or a secret gun, even though it's not really secret. Like it's just, it's if you don't know where it is, if you don't find the secret in the Sunspire, or you don't pick it up at the very end of the game from the Skaarj in the Mothership Labs, then like you just won't have it. Or even if you miss the Sunspire one, you'll go through most of the game without having it, and because it doesn't have its own ammo, you won't even know that you've missed it, you know, because you think, what's it ammo for? It's just for the AutoMag, you know? But yeah, that's the minigun, and those are the 10 guns that come with the basic Unreal. Interesting fact, Unreal 227 actually has a mutator. If I go game new mutators, there's actually a mutator called Old Weapons. That's meant to, when you load it, when you start a game with this mutator, it's meant to actually replace all the weapon sounds with the original version 200 weapon sounds. When Unreal was released originally, like version 200, the one that was released on the CD, without any patches, the weapons actually made different sounds. And then in like one of the earliest Unreal patches, Epic actually changed it so that the weapons made the more updated sounds, the ones they make today. However, this mutator came with version 227 to restore the original sounds. Because I think the original sounds are pretty cool. They actually have, you know, some people even prefer them. They have like a kind of different feel to them, you know. But I tested this mutator, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work on my Unreal. I don't know whether it's the fact that I have 227K and it's like a K thing, or whether it just doesn't work. I don't know why, but this mutator just doesn't seem to work on this version of Unreal that I tried. So I guess I won't show it off then. Okay. Now, as you know, Return to Napali gave us 3 other weapons. These 3 weapons are all like Terran weapons. They're basically you find them in these like marine drop boxes that fall from the sky that the humans have dropped on Napali for you. So they belong to like the UMS Grenade or whatever the ship's called. They're basically UMS weapons. So they're like specific human marine weapons that the Marines use. And there's 3. The first one is called, so you have to type UPAC because it's from the Return to Napali, Combat Assault Rifle, UPAC car rifle. Here we have the Combat Assault Rifle. Starts with 300 ammo. Primary fire is sort of like machine gun. It just, you know, it's basically just a rapid fire machine gun. Burns through ammo very quickly. And alternate fire spends 5 ammo on a little explosion, but it also takes a long time to reload afterwards. You can't actually shoot again until it does the ch-ch-ch. So it's insta-hit, so it's good for like insta-hit, but it's not good for like rapid fire because you have to wait for it to reload. You first come across this weapon at the beginning of Dusk Falls. What's it called? What's Dusk Falls' normal name? What's it called? Something of Napali. So it's called like Edge of Napali. That's right, it's called Edge of Napali at Dusk Falls. So yeah. The ammo for this, the ammo for this is CAR rifle click. That gives you 50 ammo. Up to a maximum of 400. Oh yeah, the maximum for the minigun was also 200 because it shares the same as the AutoMag. So it's all the same maximum, same ammo, same bullets. But yes, this is probably the most powerful gun in Unreal Gold. But like I said, it just burns through ammo. But it is really quite strong. Next we have UPAC Grenade Launcher. Now, some people argue that Unreal Gold really didn't need a grenade launcher and a rocket launcher because you already have the 8-ball. The 8-ball is both a grenade launcher and a rocket launcher, so why do you need custom-made other guns? I guess one thing that makes it better is that you find the grenade launcher and the rocket launcher before you find the 8-ball. you only get in Return to Napali. In Return to Napali, you only get the 8-ball in Spire. What's it called? Spire Valley. So that's like around halfway through the game, maybe. And even then, you have to go out of your way to find it. So it's not exactly there. It's not really a secret, but you have to go searching. It's easy to miss, you know. Whereas the grenade launcher you get as early as Neve's Crossing. So you get the grenade launcher early, and before you have the 8-ball, it's a pretty. I mean, for ages I never used the grenade launcher. I was just like, this gun kind of sucks. But I've learned to appreciate it. It's actually not bad. So I should have mentioned that the combat assault rifle was slot 3. The grenade launcher is slot 4. So it you press slot 4 and it switches with the ASMD. Primary fire shoots, and of course it's a human weapon, so it's made by the Terrans, made by the humans, the human marines. Primary fire lobs the grenade. After a couple of seconds, explodes. Alternate fire lobs the grenade. That does not explode. You have to press the alternate fire again manually to make it explode. What does it say? It's just numbers and letters on it or something. So you press alternate fire again, and now it explodes. So primary fire is good just for shooting at enemies, just to hit them and explode. I'm pretty sure when it hits them it also explodes. Actually, wait a second, let me try this. Summon Nali. If it hits the Nali, does it explode? If it hits the Nali, it explodes. Okay, good. That is pretty powerful. Not bad. If the alternate fire hits the Nali, does it explode? No, it doesn't. If the alternate fire hits an enemy, it doesn't actually explode. And it goes through enemies. Interesting. So if you just see an enemy and you want to hit them with it, just go primary fire. And alternate fire for... It's actually pretty powerful. But it's as you can imagine, monsters like Skaarj can easily dodge it. And mercenaries and stuff can put up their shields against it, you know, so it's not the best. I tolerate it. The ammo is called GL UPAC.GL Grenade Launcher Ammo. Up to a maximum of 50. Lastly, we have the Rocket Launcher. Rocket Launcher. Another Terran marine weapon. This one, once again, it doubles up on the 8-ball a bit in the sense that it shoots rockets. Primary fire just shoots a rocket. Alternate fire shoots a rocket that you can move your mouse and it actually moves around. See it moves? See it moves around? You can go this way and it will move that way. So it sort of follows your mouse a bit. Sort of like the RazorJack sort of thing, but just like the RazorJack thing, I never ever use the alternate fire. It's really it's like whatever. Yeah, it's okay at killing monsters. It's like you sort of have to shoot it at the ground so that I don't know. It depends. Some like Skaarj tend to dodge it, even though it's I guess. But no, it's okay. It's okay to use against monsters. I should mention, by the way, some monsters actually have relative immunity to certain weapons. Like an 8-ball does a certain amount of damage, but when you use an 8-ball on a brute, it actually does less damage than usual because a brute has resistance to 8-ball. Similarly, sliths have resistance to GES BioRifle. So when you use the GES BioRifle on sliths, it actually does less damage than usual because the slith has a resistance to it. And a lot of players don't actually know that. Different monsters have different resistances to different ammo, different damage types and different ammo, different weapons, I should say. Anyway, the weapon, the ammo is called UPAC, the Rocket Launcher ammo. You can make lots of them, because I believe the maximum ammo is actually 100. Up to 100, yep. So that is it for the main line, for the weapons. That's it for the weapons of Unreal and the 3 Terran weapons from Return to Nepali. I'll also just mention I've spoken in my previous video where I talked about the unused assets from Unreal Gold. I talked a bit about the quad shot. So we have the quad shot. This is a gun that was cut from Unreal. Oh well, it's still in the Unreal files, but it's not actually in the game. But functionality of it was restored in 227 patch, and yeah, it's number 2, I believe. I've talked a bit about it. Left click is shoot. Right click is you load up. Right click, and then next time you left click, you shoot a bigger load of shots. Its ammo is called shells, and because the ammo has numbers and letters on it, I imagine that the ammo is apparently that the gun is made by humans. Up to a maximum of 48. Yeah, that 48. Yes. Cool. I'll also quickly mention the other guns. The other guns that aren't in the other guns that were cut from the game. We have the Translocator, locator, which is a teleportation module. This is a gun number 0. This is I guess I call it a weapon, but it's more like a tool, but it takes up a weapon slot. A weapon that was cut from the game and was actually redesigned and put back in Unreal Tournament. Alternate fire does nothing by itself. Primary fire shoots, or you throw your teleportation module. Primary fire again recalls the teleportation module, but if you shoot it with primary fire, and then you do alternate fire, you teleport to your teleportation module. So pretty simple, teleportation gun. Shoot your module and teleport. Lastly, we have the Peacemaker, which I also showed in my previous video. Summon Peacemaker. This is number 5. You can only hold. Oh, so yeah, I summoned the shells. Yes. So I should mention the Translocator doesn't have ammo because it can only hold one thing, and similarly the Peacemaker doesn't have ammo. So you can only hold one at a time. You launch the Peacemaker, and it shoots some homing missiles. Ouch! I did not want to do that. Okay, let me actually load Rabbit again. Is what I want. Kill pawn. That was embarrassing. Let's come back down here. Manta must have spawned from like me walking over a trigger or something. Okay, where was I? Peacemaker. Summon Peacemaker. The alternate fire of the Peacemaker, basically you launch it and it just explodes. And with both alternate fire or primary fire, you can hold down the button and it loads a little timer. That is the delay. So I can do 5 seconds. I launch it, and then after it waits for 5 seconds now, and it explodes. As you can see, it's really not a useful gun. Like, I can see why they took it out, because it's just, it's kind of cumbersome. Anyway, those are all the weapons of Unreal. Now let's talk about the items. So, first item is health. If I go summon health, this is a health pack that gives me 20 health. Kind of your basic health pack. You find them all over Napali. So like, once again, are these human? Are these Skaarj? I mean, you find them in the Vortex Rikers, so they could be made by human, but you also find them on like in Skaarj facilities. They could be made by Skaarj. You find them everywhere. Once again, the game does not do a good job at like making like if the game was really well designed, it would have different health items in human areas and Skaarj areas. So you'd have like one method of healing in human areas and one method of healing in Skaarj areas, so that it would actually look distinct. So you could think, okay, these are the human items, these are Skaarj items. It does do that a bit with Nali healing fruit. In nature, you pick in natural places, you pick up Nali healing fruit, whereas in more artificial, industrial places, you pick up health packs. But it still doesn't distinguish between human and Skaarj and mercenary or whatever. Either way, let's take some damage. Pick up. You picked up health pack plus 20. Kind of your basic health. Next up, we have summon bandages. These are little bloody bandages, not very hygienic, but the idea is they basically heal you for 5 health. They're not found too often. They're like found like near the beginning of the game, and like sometimes you can find like a few bandages all at once. But like they're not that common. You tend to just find health packs usually, or Nali healing fruit. Speaking of which, next we have Nali fruit. Nali fruit actually takes some time to grow, and this is because when you use seeds, the reason why they don't just appear fully grown, the reason why they sort of appear slowly, is because when you pick up seeds and you use the seeds, it actually grows the fruit. And so their appearing animation has to sort of be slow. It's the way they were programmed, because when you use the seeds, they don't appear they're fully spawned. They sort of have to grow slowly. When they're fully grown, they give you 30 health, or 29 sometimes. But you can pick them up prematurely. If I do some damage to myself, I can pick them up prematurely, and they give you less than 30 health. So I can pick them up now. Give me 5 health, or 10 health, or whatever. And they give you some amount between like 0 and 30 or whatever, you know? So they give you some, and so you have to wait until they're fully ripe, I guess, fully grown, to get the full 30 health, or 29 health. I'll just let it grow again. I think it's a pretty cool idea to have like fruits give you health, like, rather, because health packs wouldn't really make sense in like natural Nali areas, you know. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to sort of have. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Nali fruit and Nali fruit seeds. I think it's a pretty cool mechanic. Okay, now on to the different types of armor. So the basic armor is just armor, summon armor. This is called the Assault Vest. Basically just gives you 100 armor. Pretty basic thing. So if you take damage now, a little bit of it goes to your health, and the majority of it goes to your armor. So it absorbs most of the damage. Next up we have the suits. There are actually 3 suits in. Oh, should I be talking about when you first get the items? I could talk about when you first get the items, I guess. When you first, oh, so I should talk about whether, so the health I mentioned, health is kind of found by everyone. Bandages, I guess bandages might be human, because humans probably use bandages. Nali fruit are native to Napani. Oh, I forgot the super health, whoops. Let me do that again, sorry, let me start again. So the Nali fruit, let me start again. The health is, I don't know who that belongs to, it kind of belongs to everyone. Bandages are probably a human item. Nali fruit are native to Napani. And lastly we have summon super health. So all the normal health items, like bandages, only give you a maximum of 100. But the super health is like this magic blue sparkling potion that actually gives you plus 100 health up to a maximum of 200. So if you get it when you're on like 74, you become 174. And if you get it when you're on 100, you actually get to 200, but it can't give you more than 200. So it's like a magic item that gives you more than 100 health, makes you like super fit. It's probably made by Nali, it's like a magic Nali healing item. And yeah, so it's native, I think it's native Napali / made by the Nali. Anyway, going back to what we're saying with the armor. So we have summon armor. This gives you the assault vest. Like I mentioned, it absorbs some of the damage that you take. And then you have the suits. There are 3 different suits, and each one... Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to talk. So the armor, you find the armor in both... I would say the armor is probably made by the Skaarj, because you don't really find the... If I'm thinking about where you find the armor, you sort of find it in Skaarj places. You know, it's made... You tend to find... I mean... I guess, once again, there's no consistency. Like, sometimes you find the armor in human areas, sometimes you find the armor in Skaarj areas, but I would say, overall, I mean, it's designed to fit for a human, sort of, but it's probably... I'm not sure, really, actually. It could be human or Skaarj. Okay, finally, next, as I was saying, next you have the suits. So, the first suit you have is called the Kevlar suit. You actually have 3 different suits in Unreal, and you can only wear 1 suit at a time. So if you pick up a new suit, your old suit disappears. We have the Kevlar suit. Oops, I wrote Kevlar. The Kevlar suit. This is the Kevlar suit. You actually first find it in the vortex rocket, which makes me think it might be a human item. But it has this symbol on it, which looks like a Skaarj symbol, so it might actually be a Skaarj item. Either way, here is the Kevlar suit. You pick it up. You pick up the Kevlar suit. It gives you 100 protection. So it's sort of like the armor, basically. Sort of like the assault vest. If I take damage, my suits take the majority of my damage, and my health takes the minority of my damage. If I go summon... What's the next one? Toxin suit. So the Kevlar suit is just an all-purpose suit that gives you 100 protection just in general. The Toxin suit is this sort of anti-toxin suit. I say an anti-toxin suit because the suit is sort of protection against toxin. If you pick it up, it actually gives you... So the Toxin suit actually gives you 50... The reason why it's a weird number is because my assault vest is also damaged somewhat. I'll show you properly. If I let me just go hello, Toxin. If I go summon Toxin suit, it gives me 50 protection. So, and it also replaces the Kevlar suit. If I have the Kevlar suit already and I get the Toxin suit, it will replace it. The Toxin suit basically protects me against acid, against GES BioRifle, against GES BioRifle ammo. So if I get shot with the GES BioRifle, I don't take damage. And it protects me against Sliths attacks. So if the Sliths attack me, if Sliths shoot their acid at me, it doesn't actually damage me. This is probably made by the mercenary even, because I guess you find them first. You find them first in Tyrannia, so it's probably made by the mercenary. I would say the assault vest and the Kevlar suit could be made by either the humans or the Skaarj, but the Toxin suit is probably made by the mercenary. And lastly, in the suits, you have the Asbestos suit. Asbestos suit. The Asbestos suit was actually... You actually do find it in earlier versions of Unreal. In the beta, in the Unreal betas, you do find the Asbestos suit, but in the release version, it was actually... You actually only ever find it in Return to Napali. So, like, it's in the code for the original Unreal, but it never actually appears in-game on the original Unreal. And only in Return to Napali do you find the Asbestos suit. It's sort of like the Toxin suit, but instead of protecting against acid, it protects you against like fire and lava. So the Asbestos suit makes you immune to lava, so you can swim in lava and everything and you're fine. And it also makes you immune to gas bag shots, like gas bag fireballs, and and fire in general. So anytime you pick up like fire damage, it makes you immune. But the anti-toxin suit and the toxin suit and the asbestos suit also do protect you normally. So when you take damage normally, they do absorb some of the damage to protect your health normally. But and also that means that they go away once you take enough normal damage. So if you pick up the toxin suit or the asbestos suit and you run into a Skaarj and you get more than 50 damage, then your suit is gone. And so you have to be really careful when you pick them up. You have to sort of like think, okay, I need to swim through this acid, but there's monsters up ahead, so I'm going to kill the monsters first. Then once I kill all the monsters, I will pick up the suit so that I still have the suit to swim through the acid. You got to kind of, time it properly. Okay, next we have the shield belt. The shield belt gives you 100 protection, and it but it takes precedence over every other armor and health. So when you get the shield belt, now if you take damage, it only hits your shield belt. All your other health, all your other armor is protected. Only your shield belt takes damage. And if you wear the shield belt, you actually have this this yellowy, glowy shield around you. And now it goes away when you lose your shield belt. What's that noise? Oh, sorry. My headphones are just playing up, they're a bit dodgy. Next we have the power shield. So originally, in the original models, the shield belt and the power shield look identical, but in the HD models, the power shield actually looks blue, to sort of distinguish them between them, to make them look different. The power shield gives you 200 shield, and it's actually interesting. In the original released version of Unreal, in version 200, the power shield acted differently. In version 200, when you picked up the power shield, it actually slowly drained. So you picked it up, it gave you 200 shield, and then over time, it sort of slowly drained its power. So it was sort of like a temporary shield. So it's like stronger than a normal shield belt, but it only lasts like a limited amount of time. And there's only ever one power shield in Unreal, and that is in Demon Crater. And it's a bit of a secret there as well. So, so the idea was you pick up the power shield and you have this shielding that lasts you for a limited amount of time against the monsters there. Then, in one of the earliest patches, they decided to change it so that it doesn't run out anymore. So it's just like a normal shield belt, but just stronger. So who made the shield belt and the power shield? I'd probably say it's Skaarj technology. It's pretty futuristic, and yeah, I'd probably say the shield belt and the power shield are Skaarj technology. The asbestos suit is probably Skaarj technology as well, or I guess it depends. It depends if you find it in the in Return to Napali in the foundry plant, but I don't know if the foundry plant is meant to be like a Skaarj plant or if it's like, I guess it's probably a Skaarj plant. I'm not sure. There are some, I think there's some theory that it could actually be like a Nali foundry plant, but I'm not sure whether it was intended to be run by the Nali or the Skaarj. I'm actually not 100% sure. The Nali don't really have much architecture, as in like the Nali don't really have much industrial facilities. So it's probably the Skaarj actually. It doesn't really fit in with other things we know about the Nali. The Nali are more like primitive, you know. So that was all the health and the items. Now let's go to some of the pickup items. The first thing is the Translator. The Translator is the first item in the game you actually find. And it basically it's basically a human-made item, definitely made by humans. I mentioned that, so I mentioned the shield button and the power shield made by Skaarj, right? Yes, I mentioned them made by Skaarj. The translator is a human item made by humans because it translates alien text into human text for you. So definitely a human item, and you find it on the Vortex Rikers. Basically, it's like the main means by which the game gives you story. The story of the game is delivered to you by text that you find. Basically, you read Nali text, you read Skaarj text, you read mercenary text, and this basically tells you the story of the game. So it's part of the way that Epic decided to sort of implement the story of the game and make it more immersive, you know? Next up we have flares. Flares, once again you find flares in the Vortex Rikers, you find flares on starships, you find flares everywhere. They're sort of a generic item. You can pick up more than one flare, so you can hold multiple flares. And when I should have mentioned with the translator, when you come across a message, it just automatically beeps, and then you can read it with F2. So that's how it works. With flares, you activate the flare, you launch the flare, it provides this little shiny temporary light, and then explodes. So it's basically a temporary light source. You shoot the flare, and it gives you some light. And like I said, you find them all over Napali because Unreal makes very good use of lighting. It was one of the first games to have dynamic lighting, so it really shows off its dynamic lighting, and there's a lot of lighting interplay involved in Unreal. But yeah, use the flare, temporary light source. On that theme, next we have the flashlight. The flashlight is an item that, so you can't pick up multiple flashlights. Generally, items in Unreal are of two types. There are items that you can pick up multiple of, but that you use them and they use up like all at once, like a flare. You can pick up 2 flares, you can pick up 10 flares, you can pick up 90 flares. But when you use a flare, the flare is used. With flashlights, you can only pick up one flashlight at a time, and if you pick up another flashlight, it just refills your current flashlight. But when you use them, instead of being used as like a once-off, they sort of drain their power. So you can pick up multiple, but each one you pick up just refills the power of the one you have. So you use the flashlight, it provides you with light, and it drains the power of the flashlight item. Once again, they could be made by humans, they could be made by Skaarj, they could even be made by Nali even, because you find them in Nali places, you find them in like Nali huts and stuff. Although the Nali don't really have electricity, so I guess they're probably human or Skaarj. Be a basic source of lighting. Then you also find the searchlight. This is probably a Skaarj item, considering that it's found near the end of the game on the Skaarj mothership. But basically, it's a stronger and longer lasting item than the flashlight. So the beam is a bit of a different color. Like the flashlight beam is a bit more yellowy tinted, where searchlight beam is a lot more like cool white tinted. And yeah, it's basically a powerful light that lasts a lot longer, which you need for the dark level. Basically, at the end of the Unreal campaign, you play through the Darkening, which is a very dark map, and you need it for the dark map. Next, we have seeds. Seeds are basically they're an item you can hold more than one of, and they basically go hand in hand with the Nali healing fruit. They're called Nali fruit seeds, and when you use the seeds, they basically grow into a Nali fruit. So it's basically like a portable Nali fruit, a portable health for you. So yeah, it's basically, so in case you're in, basically it's like a way of making health portable. So in case you're in a battle, or like you're somewhere and there are no health items around you and you need to get more health, you can be like, okay, I'm just going to activate the seed. They take time to grow, so you can't just throw it and pick it up immediately. You can't use it in the middle of like a battle because it takes time to grow. But at least if you're like in a lull in the battle, if you're not actively being fired upon, you can throw a seed, wait for it to grow, and get your Nali healing, get your healing fruit. So it's a pretty cool idea, pretty original, I'd say, you know. Okay. Next item is the Amplifier. Summon Amplifier. Sort of looks like a car battery. Once again, so the seeds, who made the seeds? Seeds are native to our party, so no one really made the seeds, they're native to our party. The amplifier is, it looks like a human device, like a car battery, very human-like. But I think it's probably made by the Skaarj. Although it could be made by humans, I guess. Energy amplifier. So what it does is it basically makes your energy weapon stronger, and only your energy weapons. So most weapons it has no effect on. So if you use it, by the way, it doesn't actually run down unless you fire an energy weapon. So you can use it and it just stays, like, it doesn't run down over time naturally. It runs down so when I say energy weapons, I mean Dispersion Pistol or ASMD. So you can keep running the ASMD. At least I'm pretty sure it doesn't run down. It might actually run down, but I think it does run down, but very, very slowly. But if you use a energy weapon, it runs down faster. So if you use Dispersion Pistol, it runs down faster. So it makes Dispersion Pistol more powerful. I can summon Nali, activate Energy Amplifier, and the Nali dies in one shot. Or I can summon the ASMD. And now when you use the ASMD with the amplifier, it's actually orange instead of blue. That's still... Now it's orange. So basically the amplifier, I believe it's a 4 times power up. So it makes your Dispersion Pistol and your ASMD 4 times as strong as they would be ordinarily. Next item is the Invisibility. I mentioned in my previous video that Invisibility was originally meant to be in Unreal through Chameleon Hearts. That was how they intended it in like the alpha or the beta. But in the final version of Unreal, in the release version of Unreal, they decided on this very Skaarj looking item. I reckon it's made by the Skaarj. Basically, they give you invisibility. So you pick it up, you get the invisibility, activate it, and you become invisible. It does not work that well in Unreal, as in like mechanically, like in terms of gameplay. Because if... Wait a second, let me try something. I think if you're invisible, I think if you shoot, you appear for a second. If you shoot, you appear for a second. So, yeah. So the idea is, if you're invisible and you shoot a monster, that monster can just see you from now on. Like the monster, even though once your shooting is over, you go back invisible, the monster can still just see you and knows where you are. So it's not very well programmed. But at least against human players, it's pretty good when you play online in bot match, and it does sort of work against monsters. Like if you have the invisibility, if you have the invisibility on, you can walk past monsters, and as long as you don't shoot them, or as long as you don't touch them, they tend to not see you and not notice you. So it does sort of work against monsters. So yeah, that is the invisibility. And like I said, it's probably a Skaarj made item. Next we have the SCUBA Gear. This is a SCUBA Gear. Basically, it activates automatically when you're in water. So if I jump in the water here, it automatically activates, and now I can breathe underwater. It lasts a finite amount of time, so it's like a recharge item rather than a pick up multiple times item. Oh, this fly appeared. This fly was supposed to be summoned when I was in the water. It was triggered by me jumping in the water. Another one over here. Okay. Is that another one? There is another one. SCUBA Gear, you can activate it when you're not in the water. You can just turn it on, but that's kind of pointless. It does not do anything. You're just wasting it. It's mainly for automatic activation when you are in the water. And as for who made it, I mean, probably Skaarj. Most items are probably Skaarj made, to be honest. Most things you find are probably made by the Skaarj. Because you find most of the game, you're interacting only with Nali and Skaarj. And most technology is made by the Skaarj, so it's probably made by the Skaarj. Things that are made by Nali are usually not technological. And things that are made by humans, you don't find human spaceships in human areas that often, you know? You're mostly in Skaarj areas. Next up we have jump boots. Jump boots are basically when you pick them up, you have to be just like with the suits, just like with the Toxin suits and stuff. You have to be very careful when you pick up the jump boots because jump boots have charges. They basically only have 3 charges. Once you use 3 charges, they run out. But also, each charge automatically runs out over time. So once you pick up the jump boots, if you activate them over time, they will naturally use up one of their charges. Oh, another mantis spawned. So if you just wait around or walk around, is it gonna happen? See, it uses up a charge. It just happens over time. You can also use up a charge manually by jumping. The jump boots have drained. So yeah, even if you don't use them, they still run out over time just from the charges being used up. And this, I guess, is so that when you pick up the jump boots, they only can be used within like a finite radius of where you pick them up. If you could save the jump boots for later, then you can pick them up in one area and use them in like a different area of that map, or a different map entirely, and that would be like against their idea, because it might be an area where you're not meant to use them. So in order to make it so that you can only use them within a like prescribed area, you can't use them outside that area, the game makes it so that their charges run out over time. And they're probably Skaarj made, although they fit your human feet. So actually, I think you first find the jump boots. Actually, no, you first find the jump boots on the ISV Cran. So they could be made by humans actually. So about to sneeze. Excuse me. Next up, we have the force field. This is actually first found in the Tyrannians, so I reckon it might be a mercenary item. Also, mercenaries have force fields, and they have their own personal force fields, so mercenaries know how to make force fields. The force field, I never use it. I pretty much never ever use it. It's kind of like practically a pointless item. Basically, even though when you use it once, like even though it's like a once-off use item, you can't actually hold multiple of them. If you summon multiple of them, you just still only have one. You can't pick up multiple. Either way, but when you use it, it just creates a temporary barrier in front of you that lasts for a while. You can shoot monsters around it. You can use it to defend from Titan rocks or something, and then it disappears. I think I actually did use it once in my playthrough against like a Titan or something, but I barely ever use them. Like I said, it's probably made by the mercenary, and yeah, they're just one of those random items that Unreal has, so Unreal needs to give you some random items. Okay, that's it for the items from the original Unreal, at least the ones you find in the gameplay. However, there is an item in the game's code called the Dampener. The Dampener you actually only find in deathmatch maps, and what it does is it basically makes your weapons quieter. Acoustic Dampener selected. So yeah, it actually makes your weapons quieter. It does not have any effect in the gameplay. Like, it doesn't affect monsters. It doesn't affect bots. The monsters and bots can still hear you shoot. They still they still run to you. But what it does affect is online play, when you're playing with other humans, you know? Then the other humans don't notice your guns, and they don't notice you shoot as much, because they can't really hear your weapons. See, that's probably why it does not appear in any of the actual campaigns, like any of the single player campaigns. It only appears in bot match, because it's more like a deathmatch oriented item. But it is actually in the released version of Unreal. So that's all the items from Unreal. Now return to our party items. We have, let me just kill all, sorry, I'll go kill all SCUBA Gear. If we now go summon upack SCUBA Gear. It looks the same as ordinary SCUBA Gear, but this is marine SCUBA Gear. This basically is a SCUBA Gear that's like rechargeable, and it's basically you have it from the very beginning of Return to Our Party. So it's probably made by humans if it's like in Return to Our Party, if it's given to you at the very beginning. So basically it activates automatically in water, but it has a lot longer lasting power than ordinary SCUBA Gear. It lasts like a couple of minutes. And then when you get out of water, it recharges. So marine SCUBA Gear fully recharged. So it's like a rechargeable SCUBA Gear. Very, very useful. We also have summon upack.respawning health. This is basically like normal health, except it respawns. Oh, let me take some damage first of all. So you pick it up. You pick up a health pack. Oh, see, I picked up the healing food as well. And now this should actually come back after a while. These are from the start of the UMS Prometheus. The UMS Prometheus has respawning health in it. So these are, I guess, made by... This is meant to be on a human spaceship. The UMS Prometheus, in Return to Our Party, they actually have respawning health. So you pick up the health, and it actually comes back. Let me just go kill upack.respawning health. Okay. We have summon.upack.cloak. This, I've talked about it in my previous video, it's called the Cloaking Device. It's a Return to Our Party specific item, but it's not used in the campaign. It's only used in deathmatch. It basically makes you semi-invisible and makes you jump really high. So you jump high and you are semi-invisible. And you have a lot of air control actually. Simple enough. Lastly, we have this sort of item, which is called upack.comp tablet. This is actually the thing you pick up when you get the weapon logs in Return to Our Party, but it's not actually an item in your pickup items, like in the top right. When you pick it up, it says you got the computer tablet, but it does not appear as an item in the top right. So maybe originally they had the idea of making it an item you pick up, and then they decided to make it a thing you sort of pick up, but it doesn't actually appear in your, like, I don't know, it's weird because it's a summonable item, but it's not like an item that you hold. Either way, that is the weapon log you pick up on the UMS Prometheus. As I mentioned in my previous video, we also have some 227K, or not 227K, sorry, just in general 227, some 227 items. Items that only appear in 227. For instance, we have the Woodruff, which is a healing item, only in 227. We got the Woodruff school, which is a whole school of them, which gives you 20. So the Woodruff gives you 5 health points. The Woodruff school gives you 20 health points. We have Woodruff seeds. Can you pick up multiple actually? Yes, you can. Which grow into a Woodruff. And lastly, you have Minigun Sentry, which is like a portable machine gun. I do not know why. I'm pretty sure this is not using in. I don't know why this is in the 227 patch, because I'm pretty sure it's not from the beta. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I guess it could be from the beta, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure this is something just they added in, just because they could really. If we summon a Nali or summon a monster here, we can put down the sentry. Automatically shoots any monsters or creatures that come in its line of sight. Okay, that is it for the items. Now time to talk about the creatures. So, first of all, we have a Nali. The Nali are the native species of Nepali. I've talked about them a lot. So basically, yeah, they're very religious, very spiritual, very friendly. They're very magical as well. They often show you secrets. Although their religion is kind of a bit of a hodgepodge. Like sometimes Nali. Okay, I'll wait till I stop making noise. Like sometimes Nali have like churches, like a Western, like a Christianity, and sometimes they have Aztec temples, like Aztec religions, and sometimes they can simply just do magic, and now they can just do magic, and so it's kind of, they have all sorts of different faiths and all sorts of different like types of worship and stuff. But the Nali in general are very religious, very spiritual, very magical. They're very friendly to you. They open secrets for you, trying to save as many Nali as possible because you don't want them to die, because they're friendly, and also because if you save Nali, they sometimes will show you their secrets. And if you kill a Nali, then once you kill a Nali in a given map, the rest of the Nali in the map will be scared of you and won't show you any more secrets. So be nice to Nali. So yeah, pretty much they're like the native inhabitants of Nepali. Pretty simple. 4-armed creatures. Next we have the Nali priests. These are similar to normal Nali, except they have different. See, the normal Nali has these markings, these red markings here, and the Nali priest has these red and blue colourful tattoos. So they're meant to be like more tribally, spiritually important Nali. They're like the priests of the Nali. They're usually found around temples and stuff. I guess they're like more wise, more revered, more the Nali elders sort of things. But functionally, they're the same as normal Nalis. They act the same as normal Nalis. They do the same things as normal Nalis. They just look a bit different. So I guess to begin with, I'm sort of showing off the more friendly and harmless creatures of Nepali. Next, we have a cow, also called a Nali cow. These are native creatures to Nepali, just like the Nali. The Nali basically farm them, or have them as pets. All the native creatures to Nepali actually only have 2 legs. Like the Nali cow and the Nali rabbit all have 2 legs. But yeah, the Nali cow, here they are. Where are you going? Yeah, they're basically just these friendly little cow creatures. They're not harmful or anything. And yeah, they just wait a second. Can I do the thing kill them? Okay. Next up we have, I said we have the Nani cow, and we also have the summoned baby cow. Baby cow is a little baby cow. Oh, isn't he cute? That was just the minigun sentry exploding. Okay, cool. So we have gnarly cows, we have gnarly baby cows. This is sort of showing off the, I guess, the native fauna of Napali. Next we have Nali Rabbit. Another little creature that's basically either used by the Nali as either food or as a pet, or little rabbit creature, makes these little rabbit sounds. Two-legged animal. Huh, going for a swim, are you? You can shoot them. You can also jump on them. So yeah, cute little creatures. Next we have something which isn't exactly a creature of Napali. It's not exactly an interactive monster. I should say it's not exactly a monster. It's sort of a creature, but you don't really interact with it that much. This is actually called a bird. Summon bird 1. This little guy. They don't attack you. You don't attack them. They just walk around. You can shoot them if I summon an AutoMag. I can actually shoot them down. But yeah, they're just kind of birds that fly around in the sky, and just you don't really interact with them. They're more just like aesthetic. They're more just sort of environmental than an actual creature, you know. Speaking of environmental, we also have this thing. Summon HorseFlySwarm. A swarm of flies that appear when monsters die. You just have these flies that just appear. And similarly, you have Summon DeadBodySwarm, which is just a single one, or just a couple of them. So yeah, it just sort of adds to the ambiance, adds to the aesthetic of Unreal. Does coupons not kill them? Coupons. Wait a second. Coupons. There they are. Okay. Now time to go into the water. Once again, another creature bordering on somewhere between monster and environment aesthetic, or environmental, just like the bird. Something that, this is a creature that you do sort of interact with, but it's not really a monster in its own right. And these are the Biterfish. If we summon Biterfish School, we summon these little fishies that eat you. Little piranhas or whatever they are. You can't actually shoot them with most guns. I think they take splash damage from the 8-ball. So if you have the 8-ball, you can sort of shoot them if you sort of. See, that got rid of some of them. should say they don't take damage from insta-hit weapons, but I think from more explosive weapons they do take damage. So yeah, that's basically the Biterfish school. They basically just swim around. Swim around the water. So that's basically the Biterfish school. Native to Napali, creatures who are native to Napali. It's basically, like I said, it's not so much an enemy, more just like environmental hazard almost, you know? Oh, I thought I killed them all. Ah, maybe the school creates the whole swarm, and but then the individual ones have like a different name. You can summon, maybe the individual ones don't exist as the school, you know? Anyway, next up is the Devilfish. So we've seen Biterfish, now it's time for the Devilfish. Devilfish is a bit of a bigger, sharky guy. Once again, native to Napali. Basically a shark that runs at you and bites you. Next up is a monster that is another water monster, but it's actually, I mentioned this in my previous video, this water monster is actually not in Unreal or Return to Napali. It's not in the campaign of Unreal or Return to Napali. It's perfectly working in the code, so it exists in the code of the game, but it never actually appears in the campaign. And this is the squid. Cool. Okay, time for some more monsters. So those are basically the water monsters. Now we can look at some on land. So first of all, we have the tentacle. The tentacle is usually attached to ceiling, so it's a bit hard to put it here, but I can still summon one. Summon tentacle. So its tentacles are usually stuck on the ceilings of places, and they're basically sort of like half plants, half animals. Like, are they plants? I'm not entirely sure if they're even animals or plants. There's some sort of creatures that shoot spines at you. And then once you kill them, they drop from the ceiling. They have little suckers, I guess, here. They drop from the ceiling, and yeah. Once again, all the things I've shown you so far are all native to Napali. So the fish, the devilfish, the squid, native to Napali. The tentacles, native to Napali. Next up we have flies. Big, enormous flies. Unlike the little fly swarms, these are like big, fat flies. Another thing that's native to Napali. We have bloblets. This is more interesting. If we summon Bloblet, it creates one of these blob things. By themselves, they don't do anything. By themselves, they just kind of sit there. What you have to do is you have to summon something called a parent blob, and that which sort of activates them. So without the parent blob, they just sit there and do nothing. The parent blob is basically the thing that gives them their intelligence, that allows them to follow you and track you. unlike the other things we've talked about so far, bloblets are not native to Nepali. Blobs that actually come from outer space, and you mainly find them on spaceships, where they sort of, I guess, they're basically like the alien life forms from outer space. They basically stick, they're sort of like space vermin that stick to your hull when you travel through space. So that this, you know, and so then we find some in the in ISV Cran, and we find some in the UMS Prometheus. And basically, yeah, space vermin effectively. Next up we have Manta. Manta are a cross between birds and stingrays, effectively. They fly through the air. They're flying stingrays that fly through the air and attack you, and yeah, they're also native to Nepali, but you often find them. Yeah, I guess you often find them sort of outside, like in cave. Well, I guess you sort of find them all around, all over the place, really. Generally outside of places. Now, interesting fact: there's actually more than one type of Manta. We have. I'm just gonna go players only. What this does is it actually pauses all monsters. Players only. So we go summon Manta. We have the Manta. We also have the Cave Manta, which is see, the Cave Manta is like a lighter color. Here's the normal Manta, is greeny, and the Cave Manta is sort of more like an albino Manta, more light color. Let me just summon a weapon. Oh, and because it's players only, I don't actually. And lastly, we have. Let me just summon more ammo. You know what I might actually do? I might actually just go all ammo to give myself 999 ammo in all my guns, because that just makes things easier. That's a cheat, by the way. Next we have the Giant Manta. The Giant Manta. Actually, I'm not sure if Cave Mantas are in Unreal. Like in the original Unreal, like it's in the original campaign. I'm pretty sure you only see mantas. I don't think you see a Cave Manta or a Giant Manta, but I'm not actually 100% sure. But you can. They're basically there. They're fully programmed monsters that work, just like different flavors of Manta. The Cave Mantas behave identical to the normal Mantas, they're just a different color. And the Giant Manta is just a really big Manta with a lot of health. You see a Giant Manta in Return to Nepali, I'm pretty sure. Next up we have the gas bags. Gas bags are also probably native to Nepali, but they're a bit. As you can see, I'm sort of going in order of like most friendly to most violent, you know. Gas bags are probably native to Nepali as well, but they're a bit weird. I guess they're kind of like these floaty. I guess they must be native to Nepali. I doubt they're like bred by the Skaarj or anything. We got summon gas bag. It's this big floaty sort of ball of gas with arms. Sort of looks like a Geodude. That shoots fire at you. They have 5 eyes. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big 5-eyed creature. Yeah, that is a gas bag. So Nepali have a lot of like vermin, a lot of like all these creatures that are really sort of just like fly around or run around and just attack you and hurt you. Now we also have the giant gas bag. The giant gas bag is basically like a mother gas bag. It's not only is it bigger than normal gas bags, but it also like spawns little baby gas bags, which are also attacked sometimes. Well, that was embarrassing. Let's do this again. Sorry about that. So yeah, we have gas bags and we have giant gas bags. I might as well just do it here now, since I don't need the water anymore. Okay. Now time to some more dangerous monsters, the monsters that hurt you a bit more. We have, so let me go players only. I should have done that in here, sorry. We have the lesser brute, the brute, and the behemoth. These are 3 flavors of brute. The lesser brute is this small one with like yellow clothes. The brute is this bigger one with like grey clothes. And the behemoth is like this even bigger one with like light blue clothes and a scar symbol there. So the brutes, these collectively I'll call them brutes. The different brute types, they're all basically genetically engineered creatures by the Skaarj. So the Skaarj basically create, at least I think they're genetically engineered. I'm not actually 100% sure if that's canon or if that's just my theory. Either way, they're either genetically engineered by the Skaarj or they're an alien race subservient to the Skaarj. But either way, the Skaarj use them as sort of like menial patrols. So when the Skaarj needs some sort of creatures to just patrol an area and kill intruders, the Skaarj basically send out the brutes. And they're basically some of the first enemies you find in Unreal. They're pretty slow. They shoot rockets from their rocket launchers. But and yeah, behemoths are a bit more tougher because they have a bit more like, you know, health. But what is that shadow there? Is that meant to be my shadow? Oh, players only freezes the shadows as well. That's interesting. So if I go players only. Brute, behemoth, and lesser brute. Cool. Next up, we have the slith. Now, so like I mentioned that the brute. So the brute are not native to our party. The brute are either an alien race that was subjugated by the Skaarj, or genetically modified creatures that were created by the Skaarj, genetically modified, you know? Now the sliths are actually kind of interesting. There's a bit of conflicting lore here. On one hand, the sliths do not seem to be associated with the Skaarj, because like you don't find sliths on the Skaarj mothership. You don't find, basically when you find the sliths don't appear to be like brought to Napali by the Skaarj. There's no indication in the game that the sliths are like subservient to the Skaarj, or that they fight for the Skaarj, or that they belong to the Skaarj or anything. If anything, they appear to be native creatures. They appear to be some sort of, you know, like native creatures to Napali. In fact, the Nali just call them water serpents, and they've been apparently plaguing the Nali temples for so long that the Nalis have actually made, you know, like like pictures of them, engravings of sliths in the doors of like of the water temples, you know. So they've been part of the Nali lore for a long time, But on the other hand, they sort of look a bit like Skaarj, like in terms of their face at least a bit. Like they have the same sort of Skaarj claws, and Skaarj fangs, and some early alpha versions of Unreal. Some of like some early sort of like the game Bibles. You know when sometimes games write like a game Bible, like it's a sort of like a draft of sort of like the story idea and the lore and everything. Some of the early game Bibles describe the Sliths as cousins of the Skaarj. So it makes you think, are the Sliths related to the Skaarj? Because like in one sense it could be. But in another sense, there's nothing in game that makes sense for them to be related to the Skaarj at all. In fact, if anything, you find Sliths in Terraniux with mercenaries, which raises even more questions. What are the Sliths doing in Terraniux? Did the mercenaries bring them to Napali? Why are they even in Terraniux? It doesn't even make sense, you know? Like, if the Sliths are needed to Napali, how do they end up in Terraniux? But yeah, on the Skaarj mothership, you see no Sliths, no mention of the Sliths, nothing to do with the Sliths. So I'd say probably the Sliths, if anything, I'd say they're probably native to Napali, but it's interesting. Oh. So yeah, the Sliths are kind of like, the brutes are kind of like very dumb mammals, whereas Sliths are kind of like these reptile-like creatures. Neither of these are particularly smart creatures. Next we have the Crow. The Crow are definitely a subservient species to the Skaarj. The Crow are a bit more intelligent. They can actually write logs and stuff. So the Crow write messages in books and things, but the Crow are basically some alien race that the Skaarj subservient, that basically the Skaarj enslaved, and the Skaarj basically use the Crow as sort of like their slaves to sort of like patrol and to guard and to, they use them as like sub-soldiers, you know? So we have the normal Crow. They have these sticks, these staffs that shoot like bolts at you. And we also have the Elite Crow, or the Crow Elite I should say. Summon Crow Elite. The Crow Elite, so the normal Crow has like a brown skin with red, and the Crow Elite has like this white skin with blue. I guess it's meant to be like they're the more superior ones, or like, I don't know what it's meant to be. It's meant to be they're the ones that maybe as they get older, their skin turns white and blue, so it's meant to be like they're the veteran ones. I'm not entirely sure. Their bolts are the Crow Elite shoots yellow bolts, where the normal Crow shoots green bolts. Next up we have the Mercenaries. The Mercenaries are their own species, from like different to the Skaarj, not related to the Skaarj. The Mercenaries came to Napali on the Terraniux, and at least in the release scheme of Unreal, or in the original campaign, you only see Mercenaries on the Terraniux. In the beta of Unreal, they planned for there to be more than one mercenary ship, but in the actual release game, there was only one mercenary ship. So the Mercenaries came to Unreal on the Terraniux, and they basically are their own species of alien, which is hostile to the Skaarj as well. Like the Mercenaries don't like the Skaarj, and the Skaarj don't like the Mercenaries. Although you never actually see them fight in game though. But like, they're meant to be some sort of competing alien races. So we have Mercenary. And we have Mercenary Elite. As you can see, the Mercenary Elite ones are like more bluey, and these ones are more like browny. They also can activate shields, and you can't shoot them while the shields are active. See? So they have like a sort of machine gun fire, they have a rocket fire, and they have their shields. Some of them are normal. Some mercenaries are not able to shoot you while the shields are up, where some mercenaries can. It's actually like a variable that can change depending on the individual mercenary. Oh, I forgot to mention with the crown, if you shoot off a crowd's legs, oh, that didn't happen there. But the idea is, if you shoot a crowd's legs, it can actually create what's called a legless crowd, which you can summon as its own thing. Legless. Is it with A? Oh, legless. Oopsie. Legless. See? So it's like they're so determined that like even after you blow their legs off, they still crawl around and try to shoot you. Okay, so we've seen mercenary and mercenary elite. Now players only. Time for the big boys. Summon Titan. This guy is called a Titan. Titan, I think, are native to Napali. I mean, they're kind of like the equivalent of bears in our world. Like, we have dangerous, big, scary monsters on Earth, you know. No, the Titan, I'm pretty sure the Titan aren't aliens, like to Napali. Like, they seem to be native to the planet, but they're these big, dumb creatures that throw rocks at you. Very hard to kill. We also have the Stone Titan, which is these Titans. What's weird, because this Titan seems to be wearing some sort of armor. So is he intelligent? How intelligent is he? Like, we actually see a Titan sitting on a chair, sitting on like a throne in Valora Pass in Unreal. So like, are the Titan meant to be like intelligent enough to be sitting down on thrones? Like, I'm kind of uncertain how intelligent the Titans are really meant to be. But oh, I'm not looking forward to killing them. They're very beefy. I might just kill them actually. And then I might cheat them away. Or that happens, but yeah, they take a lot of shots to kill. They throw rocks at you. Wait a second, I'll go. Okay. What next? Next we have the different species of Skaarj, the different like breeds of Skaarj that there are. Let me just summon a rifle. Whatever. So first off we have pupae. Pupae are essentially the baby Skaarj. So these you actually only see them about halfway through the game. Then you don't actually see them in the first half of the game. But they're basically little. They sort of look like cockroaches or spiders, but they're they're effectively little baby hatchlings. They're little hatchling Skaarj. And they crawl around and they bite at you. And they're because the Skaarj are like a reptilian race, but they have like a hive structure. So like there's like a queen of the Skaarj, and the pupae are like basically just like the baby Skaarj. And I guess the Skaarj are okay with letting the pupae run around outdoors and just feeding on Nali or feeding on whatever intruders they find. Next up, okay. Scout. So let's look at these different types of Skaarj. We have the Skaarj Scout. We have the Skaarj Warrior. We have the Skaarj Berserker. We have the Skaarj Assassin. We have the Skaarj Lord. And we have the Ice Skaarj. Scout, what was that one? There was a Scout. Warrior. So each one has a slightly different skin and a slightly different size, and you know, this is a Scout. Warrior is just naked, and he has green eyes. Scout has red eyes. Warrior has green eyes and is naked. The next one, the Berserker, has red eyes and is a bit beefier. The Assassin has red eyes and is a bit slimmer. The Lord has red eyes and he looks kind of similar to the Assassin. And the Ice Skaarj has red eyes and he has bluish skin. Now the thing about these guys is that they all actually kind of fight in the same way. So I do want to mention one difference. The Berserker. The Berserker actually, unlike all the others, the Berserker can actually fight other Skaarj. Like the Berserkers are sort of like the they're kind of like meant to be like over violent, like super violent and like they're like super hormonal. So like Berserkers can actually very easily attack other Skaarj or other Berserkers and they start fighting each other, like infighting. Where the other Skaarj tend to work together and actually, you know, they wouldn't actually hurt other Skaarj. But yeah, I don't want to unplayers only it and have all these Skaarj attack me all at once. But I mean, I could, I guess. But like basically, all Skaarj, when you're close to them, they like attack you with claws, and when you're far away, they shoot lightning at you. And they're basically the main enemies of the game. The Skaarj are the main alien species that invaded Nahali, and that you need to fight. They're trying to fight to like get rid of. You know, they're like the main antagonist. And you know, I could actually go play as enemy. Let me try that again. You know what, I probably should just go God mode really. That would make sense. That would actually make a lot of sense if I just go... Damn it, I forgot to... You know what? You know what? Let me just go God mode. And summon Raffle. And... I'll go there. God mode means you can't die, by the way. That would make a lot more sense. Let me just shoot this guy. This is a Skaarj Warrior, I think. Yeah, he's naked, so he's just a Skaarj Warrior. I was going to show you his green eye until we shot his head off. So basically, that is how the Skaarj work. So the Skaarj actually come in two main sort of types of classes. We have the Skaarj, the warrior caste, I guess two castes you can say. We have the warrior caste and the trooper caste. So all the ones I showed you so far belong to the warrior caste. We have the Skaar Scout, the Skaar Warrior, the Skaar Berserker, Skaar Assassin, Skaar Lord, and Iceguard. They're all the warrior caste, and they don't have guns. They basically just run around shooting electricity balls from their hands, from their claws, and yeah, and they basically just they slash you with their claws, and they basically just, you know, yeah, they run around without armor. They fight that way. They're like the warrior caste. But then you also have the trooper caste, and these are like the Skaar that actually use your own weapons against you. So we have Skaar Trooper, we have Skaar Infantry, we have Skaar Sniper, we have Skaar Gunner, we have Skaar Officer. What was it? Trooper has a Dispersion Pistol. Infantry has a Stinger. Their eyes are all red. This guy looks a bit different. This guy, the Skaar Sniper, has a sniper rifle, and he looks thinner than them. And he also has like the blue things on his little tusks are kind of covered in blue, whereas these tusks are covered in yellow. We have this guy, this is the Skaar Gunner, and this guy, this is the Skaar Officer, and he has green eyes. So these are basically like, they're the same species as the other Skaars that we've seen, but unlike them, they don't attack you with electricity balls or with claws. They basically use human guns, basically not human guns, but they use your own guns against you. So I don't know if they're meant to be more intelligent, or not necessarily more intelligent, but I guess they're less primitive. Like the other Skaar are more like primitive. They're more sort of like lashing out and like primal. You know, it's sort of very primal. Whereas these Skaar are more sophisticated. You know, I don't know if there's a difference in the Skaar hive of like they have different roles in the hive. I'm not entirely sure. Like these guys are more technologically focused, where the others are more like, I don't know, attacking focused. I'm not entirely sure. Either way. Oh, they also have shields, that's right. The Skaar, the Trooper class, also have shields. And when you kill them, they drop your guns. They drop guns that you can pick up. Cool. Next up, we have the Warlord. The Warlord is a type of Skaar, I guess. Because he looks like a Skaar. He's like a big Skaar but with wings and with a rocket launcher. So my theory is, so you know how the Skaar form like a hive. My theory is that the queen is like the queen of the Skaar that lays all the eggs that hatch into pupae. And that my theory is that most of the Skaar are not reproductive. Like most of the Skaar are kind of sexless. Like they're like the worker ants, you know, where they just kind of do work in the hive but don't actually reproduce. And my theory is that the Warlords are actually like the males. The Warlords are the males that impregnate the queen. That is my theory. I don't know if it's supported in the game. That's my theory. The queens are the females, reproductive females. Warlords are the reproductive males. And the rest of the Skaar are just the workers in the hive. It's interesting. When you first fight the Nali in Demon Lord's lair, when you reduce the Warlords, when you first fight the Warlord, when you first fight the Warlord in Demon Lord's lair, when you reduce his health to 0, instead of dying, he actually teleports away, and then you fight him again. in Skaarj Generator, he sort of comes back, and then in that time when you kill him, he dies for real. So he's kind of like, you know, you attack him, you reduce his health down, he teleports away for you to fight again, you know? Sort of doesn't escape. Not too hard. And lastly, we have the Queen. The Queen is the Queen of the Star. And yeah, she's the final boss in the original Unreal campaign. The Queen is actually a lot more effective in the map, the source, because in the map where you meet her in the source, she can teleport around to different locations. Whereas if you just summon her in a different map, she doesn't have those locations to teleport to, so she tries to teleport, but she can't really go anywhere. So she's less effective as an enemy. Either way, the Queen is kind of a bit of all the Skaarj, you know. And then she can teleport like the Warlord. She can shoot the electric balls like the Skaarj Warrior cast. She has a shield like the Skaarj Trooper class. She doesn't. Yeah, and she has. Yeah, that's what I say. Yes, she can't fly. She can teleport like the Warlord, shoot balls like the Warrior cast, and she has a shield like the Trooper cast. So she's a bit of everything. We'll get there eventually. And the Queen is dead. Now, interesting fact. There are also encoded in Unreal's code certain, I guess not really monsters, but certain pawns, I guess you could call them, that are bots. So if I go summon female 1 bot, let me see this female 1 bot. All bots are inherently hostile to you and to each other, so bots will automatically try to shoot you and try to kill you if they get the chance, but because when you summon them, they don't have a weapon, they don't automatically shoot you. But yeah, when I do my next Andre's extra video, and I talk about the different players, different avatars that you can have in Unreal, the different classes that you can play as. I'll talk about the female 2 and the female 1 and the male 1, male 2, male 3 and all that, but for the time being, just know there are like different. Just know that there are different like classes of players effectively. So like you have the female 1, female 2, male 1, male 2, male 3. You know what? Let me just summon a gun. Go for it. bit of a glitch. You can actually still hear them walking. Even though they're dead, you can still hear the walking animation of the bot. This does not happen in deathmatch. It's only because we summoned the bot manually. Like, I guess when you play deathmatch or bot match or whatever, it works because the bots respawn. Then it works fine because the bots die and they respawn and then it's all working. But because we summoned a bot here, where the bot doesn't actually respawn, it's a bit glitchy because the bots were always intended to respawn. So we have, like I said, we have female 1 bot, players only. Female 1 bot. We have female 2 bot. We have male 1 bot. Male 2 bot. And male 3. Female 1. That's the same skin as the player, by the way, as us. Female 2. Male 1. Male 2. And male 3. Oh, and you also have Skaarj player bot, which looks like a Skaarj but is actually a bot. I'll talk more about the bots and the different things you can play as in my next video. They're trying to shoot each other, but they have no guns. Oh, one of them picked up a health. Why are you going for me? Why not go for the other? Are they... There we go. Cool. Just getting rid of the ghost, so to speak, you know, with the bots making noise, moving around even though they're dead. Okay, now I haven't actually talked about the return to Napali stuff. So return to Napali, we have U-Pack Predator. These guys, these little dinosaurs. These are native to Napali, I'd say, and they only appear in Return to Napali, and they're little dinosaur creatures, little lizardy things that run around very fast and try to bite you. Similarly, we have these spiders. They're called spinners. Once again, return to Napali only. And they shoot acid at you. See? Why is he missing me? There you go. So yeah, both the Predator and the Spinner are native to Nepali, I'd say. Next you have the Marines. Let's get players only. So we have Marine Arctic, Marine Desert, and Marine Jungle. Oh, wait a second, if I pick up their guns, do they not pick up their guns? Huh, that makes it easier to fight. They're basically similar to bots in that they can use. I'm pretty sure they can pick up health items and they can use your own weapons against you, but they tend to not pick up weapons. They tend to just use combat assault rifle. But yeah, that's the Arctic. What was it? Arctic, Desert, Jungle.
Attack my target. Go!
Huh.
Yes, sir. Go! We're the good guys. Attack my target. Fire! Fire! Yes, sir. Go! Fire! We are here to help you. We have no wish to harm you. Go! Target acquired.
I didn't know that they said we are here to help, we have no wish to harm you and stuff. That's really interesting. So it looks like look.
Target acquired.
So when he sees you, he says target acquired. But if you summon one and you take his gun, so he doesn't have the gun.
I'm closing in on the target.
Did they not say anything? That was really interesting how they said like we are here to help you, you know, or like certain stuff. Because I didn't know they did that.
Go!
Did they not say it now?
We're the good guys.
We're the good guys, see? We're the good guys. Okay, enough of that. Lastly, I should have mentioned this monster last video because it is technically an unused monster from Unreal Gold. And then it's in the code of Unreal Gold, it's in the code of Return to Nepali in particular, but it goes unused, and that is the Pack Hunter. If I go players only, if I go summon upack.pack hunter, we get this adorable little tiny little scar thing. I have no idea why this is in the game, because it does not appear at all in the campaign. It's just in the game's code of Return to Nepali, and yeah, I have no idea why it is. I can't see why they would have this in the game, because it's weird. It's like this little baby scar, but it's not a pupae. He runs pretty fast. No idea what the idea is for him, for the Pack Hunter. Just another weird thing in Return to Nepali, like remember that copter? another weird thing that's in the code for whatever reason. Lastly, like I mentioned last time, we also, in my last video, we also have the chameleon, which is not so much an enemy as it is an unused idea. Like it's sort of like an unused creature. The idea was you kill them and they drop an item, a chameleon heart, that would give you invisibility. Where did he go? Where'd he go? Summon another one. So yeah, the idea is they don't attack you, they're more just like a harmless environmental creature. And lastly, we have the hawk. So the chameleon and the hawk are both creatures that are not in the original campaign of Return to Nepali, and they weren't even part of the game's code when Unreal released. However, they were added back in 227 patch. Because they were originally part of the alpha, they were like early on in Unreal development, they had the idea of having these creatures, but they removed them before the final game was released. Just a couple more things which are not really features. I'm just going to show you the Pteridium barrel. This thing. This has the symbol of Pteridium on it. This symbol gets reused in Unreal Tournament for the symbol of Red Team. And basically, you shoot it, it explodes. Pretty simple. We have Sludge barrel. This barrel of Pteridium sludge. And lastly, we have arrows. So if I go summon arrow, it like if I go, I'll do it in the bottom left thing. Summon arrow. It shoots like an arrow at you. Now this is not, no weapon actually shoots arrows. This is meant to be just more an environmental effect. So it's like in like the Temple of Chisra, for instance. There's like arrows being shot at you, and in the Temple of Valora, there's also arrows being shot at you, I think. So it's like, it's more meant to be like in these temples, these ancient temples, you see arrows shot at you, but it's not actually meant to be like actual like the output of a gun, Anyway, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!